Sketch the graph of the polar equation, then express the equation in rectangular coordinates. The equation r equals 2. This is the equation in polar coordinate. First, we plot a few points. The points in polar coordinate are represented by r, theta. The first coordinate is the radial coordinate r, and the second coordinate is theta. The equation in polar coordinate has the form r equals in terms of theta, pretty much the same as the equation in the rectangular coordinate of the form y in terms of x. The fact that theta is missing in this given equation r equal 2 implies that if we were to make a table, the independent variable is theta and the dependent variable is r. If r equals 2, then it doesn't matter what theta is, r is always 2. If theta is 0, then r is 2. If theta is pi over 4, then r is 2. If theta is pi over 2, r equals 2. It doesn't matter what theta is, r is always 2 in this case. We then start with the xy coordinate systems, but keep in mind that to plot these points, we would need to use the polar coordinate system with the circles and rays as help lines. Although we plug in theta and obtain r, the polar coordinate has to be in the form r, theta. So the first point is not 0, 2, but r equal 2, theta equals 0. Similarly, r equal 2, theta equals pi over 4, r equal 2, theta equals pi over 2, r equal 2, theta equals pi, and so on. The first coordinate in the polar coordinate system is the radial coordinate. This is the radius or the distance from the origin. 2, 0 state that when the angle is 0, we would go to the right 2 units, and that is the angle from the positive horizontal axis. 2, pi over 4 states that if we were to stay on the ray of the angle pi over 4, then from the origin, we would go out 2 units and stay on the ray pi over 4. 1, 2, this is 2 units from the ray pi over 4, which is between 0 and pi over 2. 2, pi over 2 states that from the angle pi over 2 from the positive horizontal axis as always, we go 2 units from the origin, 1, 2. And so we obtain a collection of points. These points all have the same distance of 2 units from the center. That is the definition of the circle. The circle is the collection of points that are equal distance to the origin. All of the points that we plot, they have the same distance 2 units from the center. This is the circle, center at the origin with the radius 2. To see that this is a circle in rectangular coordinate system, we start with r equal 2, and then we square both sides of the equation to get r squared equals 4. But the conversion unit for r squared is x squared plus y squared. X squared plus y squared equal 2 squared is the equation of the circle center at the origin with the radius 2. And this is the reason why we square the given equation, because we want to have r squared so that we can convert it into rectangular coordinate system. For the equation theta equals negative pi over 2, this is not quite of the usual form r equals in terms of theta. This equation is missing r, so what it states is that it doesn't matter what r is, theta is always constant negative pi over 2. That means when r equals 0, theta is negative pi over 2. When r equals 1, theta is negative pi over 2. When r equals 5, theta is negative pi over 2. The only thing theta can be is negative pi over 2. Regardless of what r is, theta is always negative pi over 2. We then put in the x and y coordinate system, but again, we need to plot these points using the polar coordinate system. All of these points stay on the ray negative pi over 2. And negative pi over 2 is an angle from the positive horizontal axis going clockwise, an angle of pi over 2 in magnitude. This angle is negative pi over 2. What this means is that this is the equation of the vertical line that goes through x equals 0. And this equation in polar coordinate, it is theta equals negative pi over 2. To see that this is the equation that go through x equals 0 in rectangular coordinate system, we start with theta equals negative pi over 2, and then we would take tangent of theta, but tangent of theta is tangent of negative pi over 2, and we know that tangent of negative pi over 2 does not exist, and that is why we have the vertical line x equals 0. We can also see this by using the conversion x equals r cosine theta. Theta is always negative pi over 2, but cosine of negative pi over 2 is 0, so x equals 0.